New reports point to Keith being over his wife for quite some time now, and that we have the footage. We've got our exhibit A and B are coming. Okay. I'm the cultural prosecutor for the troublemakers. Sick to death of Nicole shooting all of these movies where she's having explicit sex with her much younger co-stars. So we are going to watch and listen to Keith on Australia's Gold 101.7. It's the Jonesy and Amanda show from September 2024. So this is over 1 year ago. And when when Nicole is brought up, Keith looks visibly uncomfortable as listen, and if this is the host Amanda who's speaking here, she is running roughshod over all of the signals that Keith, I mean, these are like 911 signals Keith is giving here. Rob, you and I are going to take a look and react on the back end. Let's go.
Speaking of your amazing love story with Nicole, you met at G'day Australia. Is that what it was called?
G'day LA.
G'day LA.
Yeah.
If you hadn't both been there that day, would your paths somewhere have inevitably crossed? Or maybe this incredible
probably.
Life story wouldn't have happened?
No, I think it would.
Yeah? Are you a believer in fate, or do you think as two Australians it would have happened?
No idea.
I just often think that
you could not be trying harder to
event,
shut
maybe you
this
don't have the
down.
same friendship group. It may never have happened.
Well, never know.
Aggressively
Never know.
removing our leather
It's
coat
the universe.
jacket.
Anyway,
You'd
moving
like
on.
to think so. You'd like to think so.
Rob, what do you make of that?
First of all, I love those two reporters. This is delicious. They're either clueless or they've got balls of brass. So either way,
I
they
think
would
the
come in.
latter. I'm down with
I
it.
love it. I've seen too many celebrity interviews where you can only ask them about their movie project or their latest album, and God forbid you should actually mention any real news. I have a friend in New York who's a great reporter who spoke to Julia Roberts a couple of days ago on the red carpet, and she wasn't allowed to ask Julia about her banana bread. It's that secretive. What? She got told off for a follow-up question. So these celebrities are quite used to doing these interviews where they just sit there and talk about projects. Now, what I like about this is that was a radio interview. They're slightly different on the radio because the celebrity, the musician, has to get their song on that station. So the only reason they're doing these interviews is they want the station to play their music. They cannot have a hit record. They can't have a hit single unless the station plays it. So radio stations, if you're listening hello, you have a lot of power. You can actually ask the questions that they can't walk out on, because if they do, you won't play their music. So you've sort of got them a little bit. So I loved all this dynamic, this power dynamic, which normally reporters don't have the highest level of. They can just get up and walk out. He couldn't walk out, but clearly he didn't like this, but they did not stop. They kept going. It's delicious to watch, but it does confirm that this is not a split that happened overnight. This has been coming for a really long time. And I'm really frustrated that I missed the signs. They were there. I kind of think, though, I just wasn't that into them. Like, I
Agreed. Nobody cares. It's like, you know, and the funny thing, like to your point about this radio interview, which they always have a visual component, you know, it's so clear. You're so right that those hosts had Keith by the short hairs and were not letting go. And by the way, like, it is fair game when you commodify your marriage low these many years and you're pawing and dry humping each other on red carpet after awards ceremony. Get out. So, okay, I want to play this other one clip and then have you react on the back end, because we don't normally see this, but here is a celebrity profiler who spoke to Keith Urban, interviewed him at around the same time. This is September 2024. He went on Instagram and social media to talk about the deals that get made behind the closed doors, behind the scenes, before a reporter and a celebrity ever get in the same room or on the phone or on a Zoom to conduct an interview. Watch and listen to Ed Potton, if I'm saying his name right, Potton at the UK Times, talking about the conditions set for his interview with Keith Urban in that very same time frame, again, September 2024.
I interviewed Keith Urban about a year ago For those who don't know, he's just split from Nicole Kidman. And when we spoke, it was very clear that the poor guy was totally sick of being asked about his much more famous wife. Up until then, he was charm personified, happily talking about music, his friendship with Taylor Swift, who supported him early in her career. But there was this one topic that raised a shield, and that was Nicole. She famously staged an intervention that saved his life from alcoholism just 4 months after their wedding, as he said in a song, "Thank You." When I brought up that intervention, he looked me in the eye and he snapped, "I just don't want to give you guys a headline about my wife," he said. He never lost his cool, but there was a deep sensitivity underneath that brush off. He knew the drill. He talks about his career, I talk about his global star wife. You know, that was the deal. It was transactional. And the brutal truth was, he was right to be sensitive. Without Nicole, I wouldn't have been there. The reason we were interviewing him was because he was married to her, and his marriage undeniably boosted his success and his sobriety. He knew he owed a part of his story to her. The last straw came at the very end of our interview. I asked if he was proud of her. One last attempt, and he said very, and then shut it down with a level of frustration that I won't forget.
Rob. He said it. He just said it all. He said, "This is how it works. This is how it works." And by the way, this guy owes his global fame to getting hitched to Nicole Kidman in the first place.
I know. He's either forgotten that or is in deep, deep denial about that. Or maybe he realizes it too. But the reason we talk about Keith Urban is he married an absolute superstar. And then he didn't just marry her and say, shh, it's our private life. He wrote songs about her. They put videos up together dancing. And so for him to be annoyed that his wife is a little bit more famous or more interested in her, I get dynamics in relationships, I get egos, but for him to be annoyed about it when we bring it up, but not annoyed when he shoves it down our throats is absolute ludicrousy. This is going to explode on him. I'm told, my reporting tells me that Nicole's A-list friends have already turned away from him. And
really?
Jennifer Aniston, they don't want any part of him now, but that's not what's going to hurt him. Not going to dinner with the Clooneys. I'd love to go, but if you don't invite me, it's not going to hurt him. What's going to hurt him is Nicole knows all the executives behind the scenes, the agents, the managers, the people at the studios, people who we do not even know their names. They're not going to touch Keith now. So suddenly his world is going to get really small. And just to stick it to him, Nicole has popped up. She's made her first appearance. And who does she turn up with? Her children.
Her daughters.
Their team.
Flanked by them. Mommy's in the middle. And our non-model daughter who she's shoving down our throat. Again, you cannot commodify your family and give them careers they don't earn and then turn around and say privacy, please. But this was a huge moment at Chanel on Monday.
Absolutely. And it was created. She didn't have to turn up with the daughters, but she wanted to show the whole world. When Deborah and Hugh Jackman got divorced, she turned up at a tennis match in Australia. And who was she sitting next to? Her children. Like, this is all very carefully planned out. The machine of Nicole, and we've done this a long time, the machine around Nicole is a lot more smarter than the team around Keith. And so be careful now. Nicole has gone through this before, and she did some allegedly awful things in her last marriage, and she came out smelling like a rose. So if Nicole can turn that into an ice cream sundae, I can't imagine what she's going to do with this. We're going to find this out, and there's going to be leaks. And Keith's behavior, Keith's infidelities, Keith's substance abuse trouble, it's all going to come out, and in a couple of months, his phone is not going to ring anymore.
You know, that cocaine clause we were talking about last week, Rob? So I saw a report on social, you could probably speak to the veracity of this better than I, that things at one point were so bad that Keith was absconding up onto the roof of their marital home to smoke and drink, and she was petrified that he was going to wind up setting the house on fire by like leaving a lit cigarette or something on the rooftop.
What made me scream about that report, I saw it too, is she wasn't concerned that her husband could jump off the roof hallucinated. She was frightened that her dress might catch fire in a wardrobe on the second floor. And so this marriage was wacky from day one. Within the first few months of the marriage, he was back in the Betty Ford clinic. She didn't leave. And so she knows who he is. She's known from the beginning. This is not a surprise. And he knows who she is. And so what has happened to suddenly change the rules. I'm told it's other women, and it's more than
one. Do you
one.
think, Rob, of course, when you said his world is about to get really small, I was like, yeah, to like the 5 or 50 women he's dating. But do you think maybe the trigger point could have been something that you really just can't come back from? I mean, understood infidelity in celebrity marriages is one thing, okay? Do you think he potentially knocked somebody up?
I'm hearing rumors. I've got to be very careful as I say this because I don't have reporting on this, but I'm hearing there's something that's going to drop that's really big soon, and it's really going to change everything. And she wanted to get out before that happened. I'm hearing rumors of sex tapes. I'm hearing pregnancies. I'm hearing videos with drugs on them. I think that over the next few months, we're going to see a side of him that was even too extreme for Nicole, who's seen a lot. She plays prim and proper very well.
But I know she plays Miss High Class, High Gloss, like I'm super clean. I could never. But she has been married to this one for 19 years. And like you say, behavior like this just doesn't spring up out of nowhere.
I'm hearing rumors. I can't say any more yet. Legally, we have to be a little careful on this one. But there's lots of rumors out there that this is not the story. This is the appetizer. The story is yet to come.
As the season changes to colder weather, blood pressure tends to rise due to the narrowing of blood vessels, increased salt cravings, and less physical activity. But here is the good news. You have the power to take control with 120 Life. 120 Life is a blend of great tasting super fruit juices that can actually help lower your blood pressure naturally. It is trusted by over 1,000 health professionals and used by people just like you who have seen real measurable results. You can try it yourself risk-free with their 2-week trial. Just go to 120life.com and use code NERVE. That's NERVE to save 15%. And you can track your progress with a simple blood pressure monitor. Watch your numbers drop and feel the difference. Plus, it's completely risk-free. If you don't see lower numbers in 2 weeks, you get your money back. So you have nothing to lose but those high blood pressure numbers. Go to 120life.com. That's 120life.com. And remember to use code NERVE to save 15%. This is serious. This is your life we're talking about. 120 Life can help. Don't wait. Take control of your health today.